So I just want to show you guys before I film this video that this is literally what Kaya is doing. I'm the only one in the house at the moment other than my dad who's sleeping. And I opened my bedroom door and now she's going to watch me make videos. Hey, what's up you guys, the Curious Owl here, and today I am doing another double tag video because I've been really behind with getting tags and just videos in general out because of the fact that it's coming up on finals week, and I hope you guys understand. I am getting ready to be on Thanksgiving break here next week, and currently it's Sunday before Thanksgiving and I'm at my house, but we'll be coming back in a couple days for Thanksgiving break, so once that's over, I have about 3 weeks left of school and then I'll be done. So hopefully once my finals are done, I'll be able to start putting out videos a little bit more often. But despite that, I decided to do another double tag video because I really liked how the last one went. So today I am doing the book color tag and the Shakespeare tag. So the first one is going to be the book color tag, which was created by Books with Dylan, and I will leave his video down in the description for you guys. This one is really interesting because it's basically just finding books in your favorite color and like figuring out which ones you haven't read and which ones you have read in a sense. So first things first is picking out a color, which my favorite color is purple. Second thing is to show all of your books in that color. So I'm gonna go find all the books in that are just purple and I will be back.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here. I got time, it's clear to see. From up here, the world seems small. We can sit together. It's so beautiful, you and me. We're meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free. Take a step back to see the truth around you.
So I moved all of my stuff out of the way so that you guys can see all of these. These are all of the purple books I have. This is actually a lot more than I anticipated because for some reason I just didn't think I had that many purple books. The next thing is then to separate the color by read and unread.
From a distance you can tell.
Here are all the books I have read that were purple, including this one, which is slanted over because it's too small. So these are all the ones I have read, and these are the ones I have not read. So now we get into the actual questions of the tag, now that I've separated my read from my unread of my favorite color. And the first question is, what book do you want to read the most? So this is going to be from my unread pile. I think the one that I want to read the most out of my unread pile is Zenith by Sasha Alsberg and Lindsay Cummings, because this is the first book in the duology for these two authors, and I haven't read it yet. I got this, I think, either for Christmas or my birthday this past summer, and I can't remember, but this one was really, really hyped when it came out, and then the next book is supposed to come out in 2019, so I hope to read it soon so that I can go grab the second one. The next question is, what is your favorite book, which is going to be from my read pile. I mean, come on. If you saw it in the pile, then you know I was going to have to talk about it at some point. The next question is, what is your favorite book cover? Now, I think this could be for either your read or your unread, depending on, what is in the stack. But honestly, I think my favorite book cover is the book cover for Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, because although it doesn't have a lot of purple on it, it has purple like towards the back and on the spine. And whenever I see this cover, I just get a lot of really great memories of reading this and watching the movie, as this is my favorite book in the entire series, and I just fall right back in love with the story and Sirius and all these different characters when I look at this cover. The 7th question is, what is your least favorite book cover? I'm gonna have to go with Save Me by Kristen Cusick Lewis. I don't really understand the point of this. I read this book, I think, not this past summer, but the summer before, and I really liked the story a lot. It was really interesting and probably one of the first adult books I had read in, like, to get me into adult fiction. But I don't really see the purpose of this chair nor the, like, veil of any kind. I don't really quite know what is supposed to go on here because I don't feel like it has any reference in the book. Question 8 is a book you want to buy, and I really would like to get the second book in the To All the Boys I've Loved Before series, P.S. I Still Love You, because I've been searching for it for freaking ever and I can never find it. So I'm hoping that for Christmas I get it from my mom because I know she went to the bookstore recently, so I hope she found it. And the final question is, what is something near you or on your bookshelf? Well, I mean, I got a lot of stuff, but the first thing I can see in my viewfinder is my little light up pineapple. You can barely see it. It goes up more during the night, but it changes colors. It's very, very nice. I got it at Dave & Buster's because I won it with all the tickets that I had. So that is the end of the book color tag, and I will now be moving on to the Shakespeare tag. This tag was created by a Wild Book Garden, and this is a tag basically about all the different Shakespeare plays and picking books that remind you of those plays. The first one being Much Ado About Nothing, which I don't think is one I have read as of yet. But this one is your favorite bickering couple who everyone knows really care about each other, can be romantic or friendship. The first group that comes to mind is Link and Ridley because they're my favorite bickering couple. I just adore them. They hate each other so much in some instances, but you know that Link really does deeply care for Ridley throughout the series, and Ridley starts to really show how much she cares for Link in the spin-off series, and it's just, I love them so much, even though Ridley is so awful for Link. She's awful, is an awful human being, but it's my favorite bickering couple. Question 2 is Measure for Measure, another play I do not think I have read by Shakespeare, but this is a book whose plot or genre is really hard to explain to other people. The one I have recently had the most trouble trying to describe is Insomnia by Stephen King. I read this over the summer for Tome Topple, and I had such a hard time even understanding what was going on while I was reading it, let alone trying to explain it to somebody. Question 3 is The Midsummer Night's Dream, which is a Shakespeare play I have read. I read it in, I think, high school, and it is your favorite book featuring fairies or elves. My favorite book that incorporates elves has got to be the Lord of the Rings series by J.R.R. Tolkien. It is just one of my favorite stories. It's something that has always really touched my heart, and I have gotten a tattoo in Elvish because of my love for Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit specifically. I really love how Tolkien created these elves and how now it's pretty much a staple within fantasy work because Tolkien was the beginning of the fantasy genre, and he just created very ethereal looking elves that I think really represent them a lot more as opposed to what you would think of with Santa's elves, which I would consider to be more like dwarves. But I love how ethereal and intelligent they are, but also their snottiness can get them into trouble, and I like how that's kind of played into within the series. Question 4 is Hamlet, another show I have actually read. I've read it in high school as well, I believe, and this is an underutilized female character, mentioning Ophelia, because Ophelia is one of the most underrated characters, I think, in all of Shakespeare's work. Honestly, I feel like Arya from Game of Thrones is really underutilized within just novels in general when it comes to fantasy, because a lot of times you'll have female characters that are very feminine and they're seen as nothing but that. They don't really have a lot of strength behind them, but Arya is one of those characters where I just adore her. She's only 9 years old in the book, but she's such a tomboy that I feel like it sets her apart so much from the rest of the story. And I think that now, going forward with how fantasy has been written, there's been more characters like her that are not the prissy little girls that you typically see within fantasy, but there's still a lot of work to be done, and I think that there needs to be more of a push for diverse women within fantasy like Arya. Question 5 is the Sonnets, referring to the poems that Shakespeare had written over the course of his life, and that is to choose your favorite poem. I don't have a particular favorite poem, I would say, but the first one that does come to mind is Annabel Lee by Edgar Allan Poe. I don't really know why. I really do like Poe as a poet and a short fiction writer, but I don't know, wouldn't be able to tell you why Annabel Lee is stuck in my head at the moment. Question 6 is Richard III, which is a play I have not read as of yet, but this is about a protagonist willing to do anything to get what they want. I think for this one, I'm gonna go with Mariko from the Flame in the Mist story by Renee Ahdieh, because she literally makes herself into Mulan, where she makes herself into a man to infiltrate a band of bandits that supposedly attacked her in order to find out why and who sent them after her. And I really like that idea a lot. I thought that was incredibly brave of her, and I really liked the way that she was able to infiltrate herself within the camp and get the information she needed to and force herself to do whatever it is that she needed to do in order to get the information she needed. And I just thought she was very headstrong, very interesting, very complex individual that kind of was just blossomed throughout this story. Question 7 is Antony and Cleopatra, which I have read. I actually just read it last semester when I was in a dramatic theory class, and this is your favorite trope or bookish buzzword or historical figure, etc., for which you still haven't found that perfect book. I don't feel like I have a particular favorite trope. I have a lot of tropes I do like, but I wouldn't be able to tell you which one I think is my top pick, so I'm gonna skip that question. Question 8 is Titus Andronicus, which is not a play I have read. This is a lesser known work by a popular author, one which you want more people to read. I think for this one, I'm gonna go with the Alex Cross series by James Patterson, because I know a lot of adults know about it for the most part that are fans of James Patterson, but I feel like those of us that have read the Maximum Ride series and the Witch and Wizard series and other series by James Patterson, that is one that is not really seen a lot because it is very adult and very graphic and plays more into mystery thriller. But if you're involved with mystery thriller and would like to find something a little bit more gory, a little bit more messed up, then I would definitely go into that, because it is insane how Patterson creates his villains, especially the first one that you come across within the series in the first book, Along Came a Spider. It is mind-blowing and it is just so dark and twisted, but I just love it. The next one, question 9, is King Lear, which is not one I have read either, and this is a complex female villain or anti-hero. I think for this one I would pick Ridley and Nova from the Renegade series by Marissa Meyer, because both are so complexly layered, it is ridiculous, because they are both, villains at heart. They're supposed to be villains at heart, but throughout each of their respective stories, they start to tear away those layers, and you see a lot of the good to both of them. The next one is The Taming of the Shrew, which is not a play I have read. Jeez, oh Pete, I need to read more Shakespeare plays. This is choosing two polarizing books, one you loved and one you hated. I mean, as much as I've ranted and raved about these respective books, the one I love is the Beautiful Creature series, and the one I hate is Insomnia, and I've discussed these enough already, so I'm not going to go into them anymore. And the last question also is then to tag some friends, which is give me your hands if we be friends. I don't really have anyone to tag because obviously I don't really have any booktube friends. But if you would like to do these tags yourselves, please feel free to. I'm just not going to tag anyone specifically because I don't know who has done this tag and who hasn't, as they've both kind of gone around booktube at some point. I will leave both of the sets of questions down below for you guys. And as always, if you guys did enjoy this video and both of these tags, please do give this video a big thumbs up. And if you haven't already and you'd like to be, hit that button down below and subscribe to become an owlet in our flock. And I will see all of you guys in my next video. Bye guys!